In this lesson, I'll show you two examples on how to calculate the quantity of an ingredient found in a medicine. Question 1 reads, how much codeine is in each dose of codeine phosphate oral solution, which has a strength of 15 milligrams per every 5 milliliters? The label is shown right here, and in case you're curious, codeine phosphate is a sedative commonly used as a painkiller. According to the prescription, the strength is 15 milligrams per 15 milliliters. And over here it reads 2, this symbol represents 2, tablespoons orally, PO is orally, PRN is as needed for pain. And over here is the amount that we are expected to dispense, which is 4 ounces. So we're looking for the amount of codeine every time you use this medicine. For that, you have to understand that 2 tablespoons orally represents the dose. So we have 2 tablespoons per 1 dose. In addition, we're told that the strength is 15 milligrams per 5 milliliters. Now, since there's a mismatch of units, notice that this is in tablespoons, we can actually switch tablespoons to milliliters. And the conversion ratio is for every 1 tablespoon, it's 15 milliliters. So if we have 2 tablespoons, it should be 30 milliliters. So I'm going to switch this into 30 milliliters of medicine per 1 dose. Subsequently, I'll take this number and multiply it to the strength of this medicine. So by taking 30 milliliters per 1 dose, take a look, I can actually multiply it to this ratio that tells us the amount of codeine per every 5 milliliters of solution. And by multiplying it to the ratio, I have 15 milligrams per 5 milliliters. Notice that I placed the 15 milligrams at the top, and at the bottom of the fraction I placed 5 milliliters. I did that strategically so that when I multiply these out, this unit and this unit cancel out, and we have 30 times 15, which is 450, divided by 1 times 5, or divided by 5 technically. So 450 milligrams per 5 doses. And if we divide this out, 450 divided by 5 gives us 90 milligrams of codeine per every 1 dose. Let's move on to question 2. How many milliliters of stock dopamine must be added to the IV solution? The prescription is right here. So we're told that we have to use dopamine 400 milligrams added to 500 milliliters of NS, which represents normal saline. The stock is dopamine hydrochloride injection 80 milligrams per milliliter. As you can tell, this problem is slightly different than the previous one. And to solve it, we must determine how many milliliters of the stock dopamine will be needed to be added to the normal IV solution bag. So we have 80 milligrams per every 1 milliliter in the stock solution. And what we want, our final product, is 400. So we want this 80 to become 400. We need to find out the equivalent ml. So we set up a ratio just like this, and we cross multiply this number times that, and x times 80. 1 times 400 is 400. I'll continue my work here. 400, and just to be clear, this should read mg, and this should be ml. So 1 times 400 is 400 is equal to 80 times x. Divide both sides by 80. We end up with, take a look at this, 80. We end up with 5 milliliters. So by using 5 milliliters of the stock, whose strength is 80 milligrams per 1 milliliter, you end up getting IV that contains 400 milligrams, which maintains the concentration prescribed. And there you have it. 2 examples on how to calculate the quantity of ingredients.